So this is how the account is looking. Just the one trade yesterday, £143, taking us up to a total P&L of plus 694. This is our P&L graph, very sort of similar to how it was looking in the weeks prior to me starting to stream. I can potentially show you that actually. One moment. So very comparable graph to what we had in the weeks beforehand, and this was about 6 or 7 weeks, going back to the 27th of October. So that's looking quite good. Now this is the market. Now we've had a very typical FOMC week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, quiet. Increased volatility on Wednesday leading up to the announcement, a load of reaction overnight, and then the market made a decision yesterday, and the decision was to rally higher. So the Dow and the S&P in America made all-time highs yesterday. The NASDAQ struggled because of the big tech, which have been struggling the last couple of weeks. The DAX followed the S&P and the Dow and rallied. Unfortunately, it happened after we finished yesterday. So if we go through yesterday's trading, we traded this part of the market. So we traded in the range. The market, it was a classic breakout retest where we trade the breakout retest on the 1 minute chart. It's also valid on other time frames. So we had a breakout retest yesterday above the prior week high. Now, had you taken this trade, you know, it would be an absolute, I mean, it would just be huge. So if I was a full-time trader, then this would be a trade I would have taken. So we broke out above last week's high. We came down and tested, and then we had this big green candle here. If you were long, you would have been stop loss below the prior week high. So that would have been a stop loss of about 35 to 40 points. Potential upside of 200 points. You know, so that's a 5 to 1, 6 to 1 trade. You know, so with my current risk per trade, you know, you're looking at £800-900, and that's, you know, easy. If you look at the entry here, you would have had maybe 15 minutes of sweating, and then it's green, it's green, it's green, it's green, it's green, it's green, you know, and you'd have probably just had a trailing stop loss below the low of the prior bar. So you'd have probably ended up taking profit somewhere in this region around 300, unless you really fancied it up here, and then maybe you'd have taken profit at an even better price. But, you know, that would have been an unbelievable trade. If we go down to the 1 minute chart at that time yesterday, we can probably see more precisely where you would have entered. And, you know, this is the trade that we would have taken yesterday had it occurred while we were trading. So you had a very clear breakout here above last week's high. We then came back down to retest, and then we'd have either gone long somewhere around here, or we'd have gone long somewhere around here. You could have gone long anywhere in this space. And yeah, you would have done very, very well. You know, trades like this will set up. They will set up for us during our session. You know, and in the future, I will trade for longer, which will obviously give me a better chance of catching those moves. But you know, those moves do happen. I showed a couple of them yesterday, first thing from earlier in the year, which at the time we didn't have a system to capture it properly, but you know, we do now. So yeah, the markets rallied like crazy yesterday, 400 points. That does not mean we will continue today. So there's going to be no bias from me at all. I'm just going to follow the price action as I always do, or as I always try to do. So we've got the overnight range here, which we're currently within. The market's opening in about 20 seconds, and we're selling back off down to yesterday's high currently. We've got some levels down here that we may want to retest. We've got the previous day high. We've got the previous day point of control where the most volume was. We've got the previous day close. So we've got a whole load of levels we could test. Above, we've got the November high. So I'll show you where we are on a daily chart. I'll just get rid of all the noise for a moment. So this is where we are on the daily chart. This is back in November. We made a high of about 24,500. So, you know, that's likely a place of potential resistance. And if we do rally higher today, that could be a place where we may look to take profit. And then above that, then you've got the all-time high back in October, the 9th of October at 24,777. We won't be hitting that this morning, but it's something to keep an eye on. One other interesting thing to note, because we've talked quite a lot about that this week, is the idea of prior bar lows and prior bar highs. We've talked about it a lot on a 1 minute chart, 5 minute chart, 15-minute chart. It also works on a daily chart, a weekly chart, a monthly chart. So on the daily, you can see yesterday we came down just below the low of the previous day. If you were a buyer down here, you would have absolutely made huge money. And also on the monthly chart. On the monthly chart, back in November, we made a prior bar low below this range. If you'd have been a buyer just down here below 23,000, again, you would have made some crazy, crazy profits. So these concepts really work on every time frame. I don't currently trade them, but it's quite powerful just to be aware of them, because it can help. It can really help you avoid entering trades at the lows or at the highs before the market's about to reverse. So far this morning, we've sold back into yesterday's high. We're, for the moment, holding above it. We really don't want to be trading today within this overnight range unless we get some really clear indication of where the market's going within it. So yesterday we did trade within the overnight range because I felt there was a really good long opportunity, and it turned out that was correct. However, I'm very much aware that there is a lower probability of me winning when we're within the overnight range. So, you know, I don't want to push my luck, so to speak, especially given it's a Friday. If I fuck up today, I don't get a chance to make amends until Monday. Earlier in the year, Fridays were by far my worst day of the week. But since I came back with my revised, well, just completely new system at the end of October, Fridays would be my best day. And I'm going to put that down partly, at least, to increased caution of really not wanting to end the week on a negative note, because then you end up dwelling on it for the entire weekend. You know, our current weekly target is 2 times our risk, which is £320. And we're sat about £500 up for the week since Monday, and we're sat £700 up since Friday. You know, so I don't really want to give that back. I am going to give myself a 1 loss limit today. So if I lose my first trade, I'll be done. Because even if I lose a trade today, I'll still be beating my weekly target. And that's, you know, I think important for me psychologically for this first week streaming. To hit that target, because it's nice to start on a positive note. So currently it's looking pretty bullish because we've sold off on that first 1 minute candle, but since then we've had 5 consecutive green candles. Often, even on very bullish days, the market will sell off early on, which is what happened yesterday. Whether that's profit taking from the previous day or whatever it might be, or whether it's just to find liquidity, meaning the market moves down to find a place where there's lots of buying orders. And the same thing happens on bearish days. The market will often rally, whether it's for 1 minute or 20 minutes, until the sellers really get aggressive. So I think the ultimate trade opportunity today, if the market really wants to be kind, would be a break above the overnight range, some sort of breakout retest trade targeting somewhere up towards the November highs. You know, if there was a dream trade of the day, that would be the dream trade. You know, if you were super bullish this morning, you could potentially just go long off a breakout retest of this opening high. But I have no interest in rushing into the market this morning. I'm quite content to just sit back and watch. So far this is extremely bullish, but the true test of the strength of the market will come at the top of the overnight range. Until we break that, we don't really know if the market's strong or not, because again, this could just be an early rally before aggressive selling comes in at the highs. Okay. So we're getting there, and we're getting there fast. So if you had taken a breakout retest of this opening high, you would be laughing. So second 5-minute candle was closed just shy of the overnight range high. So now we're trying to break above. This is where we're likely to see some sellers. There it is. It's not rocket science. It is not rocket science. Oh, God, trading view is very laggy today. Okay, it's one of those mornings where it's so easy to just get excited and jump in, and then you can end up getting stopped out before the real moves even started. So the market is forming a bit of consolidation here at the highs. So what we want is potentially to be long off of a breakout retest of this currently forming consolidation level. Now, there's every chance the market could break through this consolidation and just rip, in which case we would miss our entry. But what I don't want is for the market to make a high and then sell straight back down and stop me out, because that has happened countless times to every trader that's ever traded. It really does take some serious discipline to not FOMO into the trade, which is fear of missing out, which is one of the hardest emotions to deal with. in trading. So we've got some real consolidation going on, and now it's just sort of waiting for hopefully for the buyers to win. But you know, if you could have so easily gone long here, chasing, and then what would have either been stopped out, or you'd just be sweating in drawdown. So my feeling would be, if we come up again and look really strong, then we want to try and find an entry. But what we need is to see some sort of real strong green candle close. Because if this ends up being the high of the day, we don't want to get in its way. Okay, I'm long the DAX. Now, again, could this be too early still? Maybe, but we're about to find out. For me, though, here's breakout number 1. Here's the retest. Here's breakout number 2. So for me, that's the trade. Now, if we are wrong and we're too early, then we're just going to have to accept that and get on with our day. Sorry, I'm just changing screens. The theory, at least, is that this might move higher. I think given how good the market looks today, you need to make sure we give this trade plenty of room to breathe. I don't want to exit this trade prematurely, although that's not great. That is not a great candle. Come on, just have a nice green close here. It's one of those trades where you want it to win, but even if it doesn't win, you know these trades win far more often than they lose. So if this trade were to lose me, I'd still take it again on Monday with complete confidence. It's taking its sweet, sweet time, though. There's no denying that. Hmm. What I'm seeing is the 5-minute chart, which you can't see, but it just closed in the red, which isn't really what I was hoping for. That's not particularly a good sign. Oh man. Okay, I'm not going to close this trade. I'm going to leave it and just let it play out, and it'll be what it will be. The hope is that we're coming down to retest, and we're then going to get a real nice strong move up. We've just had a prior bar low here on the 5-minute chart, which has just been bought up pretty aggressively. Now you could argue that maybe this is where I should have entered, but I guess this is what makes trading hard, is there is so much discretion to it. Okay, if this bar can close near the highs, I'm feeling good again. Oh, this is why I said this trade needs to be given some breathing space, because if it can get going, the potential is pretty huge. If this does make highs, then I think we can move stop loss up below this low. I would usually move stop loss to break even here, but I don't want to do that because I really want to let this trade run. So our target is around 500 ultimately, but I will start taking some out at some point. Okay, I've taken half, and I intend to let the rest run with a trailing stop loss. That's plus 104 profit taken. I'm leaving my stop loss below break even, because if we come back down to retest, I want to give it a chance to continue, because as you can see here, we could be entering a bit of a trend. If we make another consolidation, I will then move my stop loss in accordance with that consolidation. This 5-minute chart has closed nice and strongly green, so I don't feel like there's any need change it. Okay, stop loss to break even because we're consolidating up here. So if we break back down, I don't want to risk some sort of aggressive sell-off. If the market pushes higher again, I will move stop loss up. My hope is that this current level holds. Currently, this level seems to be holding. The 15-minute, incredibly bullish currently. The high here would be your school run entry. In the past, I wouldn't have even entered yet. I took half profits right at the highs here. So I'm pleased with that initial scale out. And I'm also pleased that I haven't taken my full position because the market does look poised to move higher. Doesn't mean it will. But currently, there's absolutely no bearish sort of evidence. This is where the true test is now. can we make new highs, or are we going to double top and sell off? If this was a Monday, I may take profits now, given I'm up, beating my target for the week. I would like to give this a shot at really turning into something great. But that really is purely discretionary. This feels like a relatively significant 1 minute candle now. Prior bar low at the highs. Let's see if it can hold. So if it's going to hold, it's going to hold now. Currently looking good for the moment. Just need to see some continuation. Show you the 5 minute. On the 5 minute, we've got a prior bar low here. So in the past, I would have put my stop loss below the low here. But many times this year, I've been stopped out on a prior bar low before a continuation higher. Doesn't mean that we're actually going to get a continuation higher, but that's why I've left my stop loss where it is. And that 1 minute candle there is exactly what I wanted to see. What I don't really want to see is an immediate red candle straight afterwards. Oh man, don't believe it. Right after that, coming straight back down again. It's going to be tough to hold it now, I think. It's going to try. It's going to try. So the reason I haven't taken profit is because we've got breakout consolidation, breakout consolidation, breakout consolidation, which is exactly to a T what my strategy is built for. And I don't want to exit this trade whilst this market structure is still present. You know, I need to see a change of structure, or it needs to hit my target for me to exit this trade. So right now, it's starting to look quite good again. So once again, I'll show you the 5 minute because I am keeping an eye on the higher time frames. Oh, sorry. Oh man. So this is the 5 minute. Market structure very much still bullish, especially with this price action down here. It shows that there's real strong buyers at the previous high, which means the market is accepting higher prices. Now, I would now expect a continuation higher, more often than not, from what I'm seeing. Doesn't mean that's going to happen, but I would say there is more than a 50% chance of a continuation higher. If I was going to take school run now, I would be starting to feel quite confident. And we've still got another 25 points until we reach our actual profit target, which is another £100. Hopefully this is the moment now. Oh, come on, don't do all that just to sell off at the high. Don't do all that work. Oh. Come on. Come on, buyers. Prior bar low, baby. Come on, prior bar low. Okay, moving stop up. It's either going to rally here or I'm content with the profit. If I get stopped out here and it moves higher, then so be it. Okay, I'm stopped out. Now the market could move higher now, but I'm not liking that prior bar high. Bum, bum, bum. So that was a profit of 152. Yeah, again selling coming in. Who knows? The market could move higher, but for me, I'd rather get out with a 1R trade, which is what I've done. So for me, this is where, if the market was going to do it, it was going to do it here. Now what we're potentially looking at is a retest down here of VWAP, which is also the top of the overnight range. So my day isn't done yet, because there could potentially be a re-entry. So I did the right thing there. I did the right thing taking profit when I did. So I'm pleased. I'm pleased overall there with my trade management. Now I've got a prior bar low on the 15-minute. I'm certainly not going to buy into that, though. I'd like to see a test down here. If we get a test and then some real aggression, then I'm all for entering into another long position. Although maybe this is the move, actually. God, that's cheeky. That is cheeky. The market's just flushed a load of people out, including me. And now it looks like it wants to rally. Incredibly rude. Okay, I'm long. I'm long again. On a re-entry. Retest. Off we go. For the moment, that appears to be a bloody good entry. Yes, it was. Taken half. The rest is going to run. I'm just going to stay over here because I don't really have time to mess around with my screens. Stop loss to break even. Our final profit target is at the November high. Wow, that's what you call a sniper entry. That is what you call a sniper entry. That's about as good as it gets. That is about as good as it gets. Wow, it's come all the way down. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I've taken another half here. Taking another half. Stop loss to break even. This is some wild price action. Absolutely wild. Well, this has not been the clean uptrend that I was sort of expecting 20 minutes ago, but it's certainly been interesting. So we banked, what have we banked? We banked £95 profit in this trade. So we are now up approximately £250 on the morning. And we're coming up again. Just going to go back over here. I'd say this is the first truly exciting morning we've had since I started streaming. This is the first morning where we're really seeing my system do what it's designed to do, which is quite cool. And you can see and hear that even when the system is doing exactly as designed, it's still bloody hard. You know, even when the market's going up and only wants to go up, it's still bloody hard, because the problem is you get shit like this where the market flushes out and then some big institution then buys. It's just, you know, I mean, it's really just market manipulation. And it just takes time to see it coming. Ah, man, I had an opportunity to get out there. I should have gotten out. I mean, I've only got 2 contracts left, so it's not a significant amount of money, but I should have gotten out on that last 1 minute candle. Damn it. Damn it. Oh well. Oh, I should have gotten out there. Should have gotten out. Oh well. We're still in for the moment. We're only a couple of points away from being break even though. And that's us out for break even on the last 2 contracts. So the market appears now to be settling in to a trading range. We still haven't tested VWAP yet. So here's our VWAP test. Now we didn't quite hit the November highs, but we pretty much have. We're 10 points away. That's as good as hitting it. And I think that's why they're now seeing the market really sell off. We're testing the overnight range as well. Will be very interesting to see what happens here. Very interesting. We're on about just shy of £250 now for the day. This is not a morning where it's possible to be perfect. It's just too much going on. So here we go. We've had our test of the overnight range. This is now potentially another opportunity. But I want to be very cautious here because we may well have already hit the highs of the day. And if we have, I don't really want to go long again. So we're very, very patient now. Very patient. If we get a real clean retest of VWAP, I'll go long. But it needs to be absolutely textbook. Absolutely textbook. So what I'd be looking for is for this 1 minute candle to be closing towards the highs. If that does, I'd consider that a pretty much perfect retest. Or this could just be almost a breakout retest of this consolidation here, which is, I think, what it's going to end up being. Potentially. Okay. Buyers saying hello. Ooh. Okay, I'm long. I'm long on a double tap of VWAP. Okay. What do I think? What do I think? What do I think? I don't know. I'm not 100% on this one. I'm following my rules. This is following my rules. Trend following. VWAP retest. Above the overnight range. Overall in an uptrend. This follows my rules, but I'm just not sure about it. Not sure why I'm not sure about it though, because the market structure is there. I think it's just a bit of a case of fear, I guess. Fear of losing what I've made, or some of what I've made. But it started well. It started well. It's doing all right. This will be my last trade of the day, regardless of outcome. Okay. The target will be somewhere around the consolidation highs, and I will not be holding my trade any longer. I will just be taking profit if we get up there. And it'll be a full exit. Stop loss to break even. I don't see a reason why I wouldn't do that. Come on, just give me another 10 points. Give me another 10 points. I just want the market just to find here. I'm just not sure it's going to give it to me though. Oh, come on. Okay, the 5-minute candle just closed at the highs. Come on, just give us a little push. Taken half. Taken full. Just because this could be a prior bar high now, a prior bar high sell. And we got about 16, 17 points out of the 20 that we wanted. So I'm just going to take it. I'm going to take it. That was another £131, which, yeah, that's good. That's pretty damn good. So what's happened right now is we've had a prior bar high where the market's sold. I'll show you the screen in a little bit. That'll be it for me. That'll be it for me. just want to see what happens. Part of me feels like, again, we could come down, test VWAP. Let's see if VWAP actually works today on here. Don't know if it works properly. Oh yeah, it's working properly today. Right. So again, I'm just thinking, are we going to test VWAP, move higher? If we do, why the hell would we not be long? I don't know. We'll see what the reaction is. It has to be perfect. It has to be perfect. I mean, this was perfect, you know. Test, hold, further push, really fucking held, sorry. Off we go. Okay, this is now starting to look quite aggressive from the sellers, quite aggressive. Yeah, okay, that is good. That's it now. I'm not going to go long. I'm not going to go long again. That's a real aggressive move from the sellers. Right, let's tally up where we are then. Right. Bing, bang, boom. So we started the morning on 14,694, and we've ended the day on 15,074. Just getting a calculator. It's £380. £380 profit today. That's good. That is good. It's good trading. All right, I think that is me. Finito. Thank you for watching this week. It has been fun. It has been very, very fun. Today is the first time we've really seen the market do what it can do. Even then, it wasn't an incredible market, but it was a directional market for once. For once this week, it was a directional market. Well, it was a directional market for an hour, and now we're back into the range again. So I guess it's directional for a very short-term scalper. All right, brilliant. I'll be back Monday. Thank you.